Welcome to Homestead Reptile, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on in the gecko world, and let's talk about my reptile room. I've added some new enclosures, cleaning it, almost everything's the same in here. I've moved some enclosures around, but just a normal cleaning day. Got to do a lot of maintenance today. Let's talk about what's going on in the gecko world. Let's talk about the crested gecko economy crash. So, there's a few points I'll make to why it's happening, and these are just my opinions and observations, so take it with a grain of salt. So my first point, the economy sucks right now. It's not the best. And that's my first point. The economy just sucks. And also, let's think about crested geckos. What are they? They're a luxury item. It's like getting a brand new watch. It's like getting a puppy. It's like getting painting supplies or whatever thing you can think of that is not a need, but it's a want. You can live without a crested gecko. It's a luxury item. I live out in the countryside, and I live around a lot of Amish people, and my Amish neighbor breeds puppies. So, just a disclaimer, they're not a puppy mill. You'll see a lot of stuff out there that Amish people have puppy mills, or Amish people abuse animals. The Amish family I live next to, I could walk up to their house. I could look at their puppies. They take really good care of all their animals. They really love them. They go to the vet regularly. They're well cared for. But besides that, I went up there to help her take some photos of her puppies. She only has 2 left, and they're Shih Tzus. So that's like a Shih Tzu poodle mix thing. Super cute. But she told me before the economy went to the pooper, she was selling them easily for $1,000 a piece. And now that the economy is the way it is, she's selling them for $250 a piece. She only has 2 puppies left, and they'll probably be rehomed pretty soon. One's likely to leave soon, and then she'll have 1 puppy left. But there's a major difference between $1,000 and $250. The price has dropped significantly. And that is also what has happened with crested geckos. Crested geckos are a luxury item. And I'll take that to my second point. My second point is during the COVID period where everyone was bored, people were getting into hobbies. And some people that were already in the reptile hobby or just stumbled into it found crested geckos. Crested geckos are amazing pets. They're so easy to care for. You can feed them a crested gecko diet, which is powder mixed with water. They're super easy to breed. There's tons of different colors, tons of different head structures. There's so much, and the crested gecko community is really lovely to be in. So these people either just got pets or they were getting into breeding them. And these people that were getting into breeding them were buying them at a much higher premium than they were originally. And that's a little bit because of the economy during that period. So a lot of people had extra money, COVID money, and they're going to spend that money on a hobby. So they bought crested geckos. And it's like, I'm going to do a little side gig, a crested gecko breeder, and I'm going to make a profit off of this. And again, they were buying geckos kind of at an inflated price because you could see a really ugly female on Morph Market. If she was ready to breed, she would be $200 to $300, and I've seen people pay the price for that. So, like, let me give you this image. Let's say it is a hideous yellow muddy flame with dowel spots all over it, and it's missing a toe. Someone would have paid $200 for her. She's ready to breed. She has no lineage. She's a messed up gecko. Someone paid that much money for her. Now you can't. That gecko's worth $50, maybe $100, but that gecko has dropped in value. Now I gave you an example of an ugly female. Let's talk about decent, like medium quality girls and really high quality female crested geckos. They were selling for a really, really high price. And then males that were really good were selling for a really high price. And let me take it to my third point. So, there was a little bit of a competition between Korea and United States breeders and buyers, because Korea came to the United States and they didn't have as many geckos, and they were just buying up all the geckos. So it made this little bit of a bubble. It's like, oh, the economy for crested geckos is amazing. Everyone's just buying them like hotcakes. And these people that just got into it, I was like, are seeing this too. It's like they're just snapping them up left and right. They're buying them all out. And they got this idea that they could buy these geckos. They're either about ready to breed, sub-adults or babies, and they'd be able to turn around and make a hefty profit. Now, the economy went in the pooper. People panicked because no one's buying the geckos as fast. So they're scared and they're freaking out. I spent all this money on them. I'm not getting a return in my investment. So then they panic sell. So the first person to say is like, I got to get rid of these cappuccinos or these lily whites or some of these higher quality morphs. And let's say, at the beginning of when they came out, a cappuccino was like a $10,000 gecko. And I have a $10,000 gecko. And then the price, that person panics. It's like, all right, I'm going to cut it in half. It's a $5,000 gecko. And then it still doesn't sell. It's like, oh my God, what's going on? Then they cut it again. It's like, it's a $2,000. Okay, they panic again. And now all these other cappuccinos are flooding the market. And now you can find a cappuccino for $200. You can find a cappuccino for $500. And then lily whites, you can find some lily whites for $200. And then all the other morphs are also going down in price. There's a few that have really kept their value. I've noticed reds, for some reason, are really keeping their value. So red females, pretty much selling for the same price they were, and still being snapped up and, taken pretty quickly. But I think that's people that are taking advantage of the price dropping to get those females when they can, because that price is going to go not as high as it was originally, but it's going to go back to a more normal base level. But this is a great time for you to purchase, and the market will correct itself, because the people that get out will get out. The people that are left will be a smaller number of people, and then they'll be breeding and doing their projects as normal, and just keep on trucking. Don't go into gecko debt. So that's a tip I'll give you. Don't spend more than you can lose. So if you spent, a couple $1,000s on these geckos, on a particular pair, and you were like, I need to make this money back, or I have to make the money back, don't go in that way. Just spend what you can afford to spend and what you can afford to lose. Be a little realistic about it, because even if, let's say, the economy was perfectly fine and all those other situations, those points I pointed out weren't happening, you never know, because a gecko could just not lay eggs. You can have one pass away. Something weird can happen. Maybe he loses his hemipenes. Who knows? Or maybe the female you bought is infertile. So this is a great opportunity to take if you're going to purchase geckos for your projects. I've taken advantage of it. I've bought a couple of people's collections. Not a ton. I've bought probably 5 geckos out of some collections that people are getting out of the hobby. I bought Boba Tea, my amazing Super Dowel ink spot guy, and he's 19 grams. I bought Autumn Olive, who is a really dark olive girl. I've bought my Tangerine Lady, and a few other girls. Oh, I keep forgetting this one girl. I don't care for her. Pumpkin Spice. She has spots. She's a patterned spotty harlequin thing. She's not horrible. I mean, I'm going to talk a little bit about her. And in the next video, I'm thinking about doing a video on spot phobia, on patterned animals. Why are people hate them so much? But besides that point, it's a fantastic time to buy. So if you want to round out your collection and get geckos for projects, this is the time to buy, because I think this is my theory and just my guess, I think in the next 2 years, it'd be awesome if it was just a year. In the next 2 years, I think it's going to correct itself to a major degree, because I still see people super passionate about the crested gecko hobby. I see people tuning into crested gecko podcasts. people wanting to learn more about crested geckos, people wanting to know more about morphs. The crested gecko hobby is bigger than ever. So with all these new people coming in, they're going to want geckos. They're going to want to do their own projects. So I think the future for the crested gecko hobby is bright, and there will be many new things in it. There's so many new morphs coming out, so much new stuff to do, and they're just a great, fantastic pet. Great for first-time reptile keepers, I believe. But this is just my opinion and what I think is going on in the gecko world. Now, if you have any information you want to share, leave it in the comments. I would love it if you like and subscribe and tell me what you really think is going on. I've only been in the hobby for about 5-ish years. Not very long. I've only been breeding for a short period of time. But it's been interesting to see what's going on. Like and subscribe.